I was receiving texts from various people, and I have great respect for that are in this profession. And they were wondering what was wrong with Jim Nantz at the beginning of the Buffalo game against the Kansas City Chiefs. We know what it was all about. He's hearing footsteps. Footsteps from this man, Ian Eagle, who joins us here on the program. Ian, how are you, my friend? Thanks so much for doing this. I know you can't comment on that.
Yeah, thank you, as always, for the very comfortable segue into the interview. It's so seamless.
He's like, no, don't listen to that conversation, boss. No, don't listen to that.
I never said that. Yeah, you know, some intern at the New York Times is going to take this and blow it out of proportion here. That Eagle is already.
Ian said Nance is done.
Yeah, Eagle campaigning for number one spot. Well, in our hearts, you're number one, and now Noah Eagle. My God, I mean, this kid.
Your son's great.
Is he on
Your son's
the biggest meteoric rise you've ever seen in the industry, Ian? I mean, you may be hearing footsteps.
Well, you guys have the same voice. You know that? Like, every time he's on, I'm like, Ian's on NBC now? What the fuck? I'm like, when did Ian... Oh, it must be his son. I mean, he does such a great job.
Yeah, and all I can think when he's on is, I used to clean your poop.
That's great.
Yeah, that is one way to look at it. That's for sure.
The time. Wake up with Defo, joined by Lubie. Welcome to the Defo Show.
Very pleasant. Good morning, everybody. Great to be with you here on the Defo Show. Jeff DeForest and Mike Lubie Lubitz. Sorry for a little bit of a late post time here. There was a delay at the gate as we got a little passionate and emotional on our No Filter program. And lately we've been kind of bleeding into the start time for this show. Jim Sarney said we ought to change the start time of the show to 8:15, but that's not really the issue.
No, we'll start here. We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. We're going to smooth things out. We're trying to do a lot of things at once here, and we're having a good time doing it. I hope you guys are enjoying what we're putting on. And but yesterday, I think, probably was the record for the shortest edition of the Defo Show in the program's 2+ year history.
Oh, no, I mean, I went after you left.
Oh, okay, good.
See, going with Ed and Tony to like 8:50ish. So we did our 30 to 40.
All right, so it was a regular,
And we're still trying to get back to an hour, but it is what it is.
We will. I mean, only have a few more days left of this arduous medical regimen that I've had to pursue. And and I couldn't be happier about it, believe me. I mean, I can't wait to get back to living somewhat of a normal existence here. And it looks like it's all going in the right direction for the people that have expressed their concern. I certainly appreciate all of that. And we've tried to power our way and just meddle our way right through some difficult times. And yesterday, another example. And now it was a difficult time for me, of course, the prince of procrastination, as I found myself flowerless, giftless, and with no plan whatsoever how to get out unscathed from what always turns out to be a romantic and emotional bloodbath, and that is the day known as Valentine's Day. I mean, just very problematic for me. It's not like I'm unemotional or unromantic. I usually feign that in the beginning of relationships. I'm not very good at it anymore, because the Mustang is onto me. And, unfortunately, that probably, I'm thinking, this relationship will probably be the last of any significant male-female relationships that I have on that level. Because if this one bombs, I'm 0 for 3 with a walk. And then what would be the point of continuing to pursue this sort of behavior? But I said this yesterday on a lunchbox as we were exiting what turned out to be just a delightful time there at Licky Sticky Barbecue.
Yes, sir.
Licky Sticky, the lovely Juliet. Man, that was, forget about it, man. I mean, there's no more going to be going to any Jewish caterer for the brisket on Passover. That was the fucking best brisket I've ever tasted in my life. I'm not a huge consumer of brisket in general, but when I do have it, I always like it, to be a little bit more, I don't like it where it's just been boiled or whatever. How many different ways are there to make brisket? Do they boil it sometimes?
They bake it. They may boil it, but they usually put it in the oven, and they usually cook the crap out of it.
Yeah. I mean, you talk about shoe fucking leather. Would you like more of the brisket? No, I'll just have some more of that bitter herb.
I brought it to my parents, and my dad was like, yeah, but your mother doesn't like this kind of brisket. I'm like, I know, you mean good?
It melts in your mouth. I mean, it was absolutely delicious. So we had a great time there. And then I found myself in the proverbial Valentine's Day jackpot, where I'm empty-handed. And on any other day, I mentioned this, on any other day, you could get off 95 at any exit, and find somebody with a bucket of flowers that's selling a dozen roses for $5. And to me, they look just as good and just as fresh and just as likely to open up and portray the usual image of beauty and the symbol of romance that any $50 batch of roses would go ahead and replicate in a flower shop, right? I mean, let's face it. If you go to a florist, you're probably getting a little bit better arrangement and stuff. Are you getting a better quality of flower than you are of some guy that's on the corner of a gas station there? I don't know. But I'm figuring this is going to suffice, and it beats the alternative for me, which was to, and I almost did this, Louis. I know I joke about it, but I was getting so desperate because there were none of these guys on the street yesterday. Yeah. Mayo said that as he exited, he went up University Drive, and they were all over the place. Now, the small section of University Drive that I was on my way home, not a senor. I didn't see anybody that was selling flowers. And normally you can buy anything on a street corner here in South Florida, no? As we've joked, I mean, you could get Botox injections if you're driving through Boca. Come right out, the Mercedes convertible. Woman's got the gorgeous hair that was just done up at great expense at some hair shop, and says, "Hey, yeah, you know what? I could use a little pinch right here in the eyeball. That'd be great." Guy comes out, does the injection, and then the light changes, and you move on. It's fantastic. But no flowers available yesterday. And I drove about 10 miles west to get to this Licky Sticky Barbecue, which was all the way out there off the University and 44th. Great spot, by the way, as we said, but nothing. So I ended up literally, I mean, it was great. Publix in acknowledgement of the fact that they were about to rob you blind. They actually did have all of their cashiers with a ski mask and a gun. It was like going to the concessions at a ballpark.
It is funny because Publix has this section, and I would think guys know it by now, the 3 for $12 section.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's actually decent flowers. It's not amazing. It's not going to a florist.
I've gotten robbed on that a few times where the flowers you put them in the water and they just died.
You have to make sure. See, I've done it enough where you have to make sure it's the flowers that will bloom. But if you know what you're looking for and you buy the full 3 for the 12, you actually get, like, Shirley knows I'm doing it and is not mad at me because you get a nice array and it works fine.
Yeah.
They used to at least have that on Valentine's and then have their whole ridiculous section.
Yeah.
I don't know if it started last year or this year. They didn't even have that. They just
that section's roped off. Yeah.
Damn, I was like,
I checked into it. Believe me, I know what you're talking about. That section was gone, man. They hit you right in the front of the store with their $22 variety, which somehow also does not include tax, and so it was like $25 a whack. At that point, I had no choice but to go ahead and capitulate to the idea of getting ripped off, which, not only is Valentine's Day a contrived holiday created by the hideous people at Hallmark.
Yep.
But then on top of that, they have to rob you blind on the flowers. I mean, those same flowers today are going to be $12. That's the thing that bothers me about this particular scam that they're running. And, didn't really get me off the hook. She has, she knew that there was, I mean, can women sense when there's an overall lack of sincerity in any gesture that you make? Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. Well, especially when you're where we are, where I'm at 7 years, you're at, you guys together 12 years.
I've been with the Mustang. We've been married, I think, 8 years now.
Yeah.
Can you believe that? We were together like 4 years before. Has it been that long? My God, where did my life go?
So they know us by now.
Yeah. If you don't know me by now, she knows I'm a schmuck.
Like, but you said it because Shirley actually I was like, fuck. I was like, I'm not spending $40 on flowers. That'll be $10. I'm just not doing it.
It's robbery. Yeah. Blind robbery.
We have our plan. I did it. I got a special lobster mac and cheese. I wanted to go to Wicked, but I was out west. So I went to West. Fine. I knew she'd like it. I got her special cookies. And she was actually excited. I was like, fuck, she may be weird. She was like, oh my God. Wow. Like, okay. And I played it. Yeah, it wasn't easy. But I was like, geez, what does that say? That she was excited about this.
I got the usual. Where'd you get these? But it was about to be a great day. We kind of got into a long discussion on our previous program here that we did, the morning briefing on Caffeine TV. You can look that up. Just bark into your Google thing, morning briefing, Caffeine TV.
That's right.
And the archive of shows going all the way back to August when we started that thing will pop up. It's great. Yep. And we've been getting good traction on that and some big numbers. So we're very happy with the way that's proceeding. We try to pour a little bit into that. Not that we're ignoring the people that are watching this show, because we love this thing, because we get to concentrate more on the local teams, which were all in action last night.
Yes.
We gave you on that morning briefing show the Heat +3 as one of our big plays of the century. And the Heat were coming off the shellacking of the Milwaukee Bucks, who had their full complement of players. They weren't missing anybody. The Heat were missing Jimmy Butler, Josh Richardson, Rozier was also out, and so they were missing 3 significant pieces.
Yes.
To their offensive, and they haven't exactly been an offensive juggernaut, but they're trying to go at it. They put Jovic on display. What was he back on ice again last night? I didn't see him at all.
He had 4.
What's the story with this guy, Nikola Jovic?
Yeah, I don't. The day before he had 24 with Giannis there.
Yeah.
And yesterday he had 4 and 14. I don't know. Maybe matchups, but again, without an Embiid, you would think he would be able to do whatever the fuck he wanted. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't get to watch much of that game.
Used to be in Riley we trust. I think in Spoelstra we trust. That old thing that they used to put in the media guide about Don Shula from Bum Phillips. He could take his in and beat Ewan, and he could take Ewan and beat his in, whatever the hell that meant.
Yeah.
Essentially saying every team Spoelstra was coaching was going to have an advantage.
Yep.
And I think that's probably true, right? I mean, he's going against Nick Nurse, one of the better coaches, I think, in the NBA. Certainly distinguished himself when he won that championship with Kawhi Leonard and the Toronto Raptors.
Yep.
And, I thought, wow, that's a great hire. How he didn't replace Budenholzer in Milwaukee was a big surprise to me. And he ends up in Philadelphia with what looked to be a dynamic roster, and yet depleted badly by injuries. And you were looking at the Heat on the second game of a back-to-back on the road with a lineup that was very suspect if you just looked at it on paper, missing those 3 guys. But after beating Milwaukee by like 30 points the night before, did they not look like taking 3 was a pretty generous offering against the Philadelphia team that's staggering around right now, trying to figure out what their identity is going to be, without what you would have to say is probably a much more important centerpiece to them than even Jimmy Butler is to the Miami Heat. And that's Joel Embiid. He's out of the lineup, and they've been staggering around ever since, even though Maxey played last night. But the Heat on equal footing and starting to put it together a little bit. It doesn't matter. You could throw Spoelstra just about anybody, and he finds a way to make it work. So that turned out well. That was very fortunate to be on that end of things.
Well, and what's interesting is, and it's a guy that you actually talked about a lot last year, because you were like, where the fuck did he go?
Yeah.
And magically in like the conference finals or the second round, Duncan Robinson became like an integral, like it was like, oh, thank God Duncan Robinson's out there. And I remember saying that in the Knicks series going, did I just say that out loud? But the dude, he literally versus the Bucks, again, I didn't get to watch last night, was doing dribble penetration, kickouts to shooters, and he would turn around and run the other way like he was Steph Curry. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
No, he's been great this year.
I'm like, when did he was stealing the ball, running the court, throwing lobs to Bam. I'm like, where did
he actually became a better player? That's part of this whole Heat mentality and the Heat culture is that here's a guy that was put on ice last year.
Yes.
And was a DNP coach's decision so many times and had to be. I mean, look, no matter who you are, basketball, to me always was largely an ego game.
Yep.
I mean, not that all sports at that level don't involve a certain component of ego. I mean, if you're one of these people that doubts yourself, you're not necessarily going to have any success. And these guys are highly competitive, as we know. But Duncan Robinson had every reason to be sulking last year and think that, hey, you know what? The one thing I want is out of here because I could do well somewhere else. It's like I always thought when I was riding the bench there for like the JV team at Kennedy High School that if I lived in Floral Park, I would have been, tantamount to Dr. J. Right. But, so you're thinking, geez, I just want to get out of here and get a chance to go out and play. And sure enough, Duncan Robinson, it did not destroy and discombobulate his approach to the game. If anything, he just got better.
Yes.
Which is pretty incredible. Yeah. There was a stat they posted last night during the telecast that when he scores 20 or more points in a ball game, the Heat, I think, are undefeated in those games, like a 13-0 or something like that. And it happened again last night as they win over Philadelphia. You had the Panthers on national TV. They win easily and have now won 9 in a row. The Canes, unfortunately, were beaten by Clemson, 75-60. But a lot of entertaining stuff on the local scene I was looking forward to talking about. And, was even going to try to develop on our national platform there on No Filter. And sure enough, I mean, all overshadowed by this ridiculous tragedy. I don't know. I mean, there's just it's become to the point where you just shrug your shoulders and say, "Oh, geez, only one person dead and 20 kids injured. Not bad."
Yes, honest. Yes.
That's sad. I mean, that's the most. Think about it, a horrifying position to find yourself in, where you're so used to this and accustomed to this that it doesn't even phase you anymore. At the Kansas City Chiefs parade. And this, on the same day that we're commemorating the 6 years after the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas, I mean, talk about something hitting you right in the heart at home. Our good friend Andy, his daughter went to Marjorie Stoneman
Yes,
Douglas at
yes,
that time.
she was friends with people who passed, and she was there. So just being there, can't even imagine what she's dealt with for most of her life.
It's one of those things that you would think would be so staggering that you never fully recover from that. And you said it best on our No Filter show. That this business with the thoughts and prayers, enough already.
Just don't say it.
Yeah,
Just say it.
it's pathetic. It's a pathetic approach. Something needs to be done about gun control. If you're a normal person and you're running around pounding the Second Amendment, still, does that mean that you can't afford to wait a week between the time you apply for an application? You go ahead and put in an application to buy a gun and the time you actually receive it. Do you need it that desperately that day? That some kind of law like that, which may not be enough to even deter some nutbag from getting a gun, but at least it gives people a chance to run some kind of background check, whatever. Maybe that needs to be made more extensive, and just pass that cost along to the people that want to buy these weapons. There's no reason. I mean, there's still no reason in the world why anybody needs an assault weapon for their own personal collection or a hobby. I mean, if you're going to go out and shoot a deer in the head, do you really need a machine gun to do that, or does that take some of the sport out of it?
I don't know. I've talked to people who know about guns, so I don't know enough about guns. I know that they included agree that there should be stricter background checks. Like, that's just a simple thing. There's nothing wrong with a waiting period, and there's nothing wrong with banning certain guns. If you want to, I'm not going to worry about the semantics of it. If you want to help me explain it, because I don't know enough about guns, but there's an understanding that certain guns can be banned, and even the most staunch gun owners are okay with that. What's annoying to me is, again, it's not the minority, it's the majority. The majority want stricter background checks and want to ban certain guns. That is the majority. That's 100 by any poll you see. That's the majority. The majority want better health care for us overall, but for those mentally ill. Again, that's the majority. But for some fucking reason, neither of those things happen because the minority is so goddamn loud. Those in DC do nothing time and time again.
Yeah.
And so to me, it's like,
it's futile.
Just shut up. Like, if you're not going to vote for people who want to change things, don't tell me you're sad about it, because you're not fucking sad. If you were sad, you would vote for people who wanted to change things. So,
and it should be an even more compelling issue than it is. Shouldn't just be relegated to people who have suffered, losses as part of these tragedies. That they're out there being the voice of this movement. I mean, everybody should be on board with this thing, and it's time something was done. It's just 40. It was either 45 or 46, something like that. Mass shootings already in America, and that's midway through February of 2024. It's despicable the direction this is going in. All right, but that kind of overshadowed what otherwise was a brilliant day in sports. This incident. Now, it wasn't one of those things where, the details seem to be emerging that maybe this was some kind of gang-related fight or whatever that took place. Or I don't know exactly. I don't think they really came out with the full details of what happened.
Why is open carry so needed?
Yeah.
Why do
let's all have guns. I mean, Ron DeSantis, let's go, baby.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Come on. My wife has a gun because she used to be out late at night. It's locked up safely. My brother-in-law is Israeli, so he's always waiting for the apocalypse. So he has a under his bed or somewhere safe because they have kids. He has like a goddamn stockpile. Whatever. I don't even care. But why do you need to walk around with it? Why do you need to be a 7-Eleven? When I was in Georgia, you could see. It's like, come on. Like, what do you?
People have them in holsters. Yeah.
Like, get out of here. Like, why? Tell me why you are that. And again, if you're that fearful, why do you leave your home?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Like,
I keep coming back to this. I'll never forget. I mean, it was a big deal when I was going to PS20. If somebody had a slingshot, they would be going, hey, but watch out, Johnny's got a slingshot. And now it's not uncommon for kids to be carrying guns into school as a matter of routine. Every now and then they catch somebody, but just a whole stupid state of affairs. And the people that are paying lip service to it all the time, nothing's being done. Nothing, zero. If anything, the problem is worse and been more enhanced than it's ever been before, and needs to be addressed. All right, we're going to have a little fun here. Dave Gurggles Gergely going to join us, and there he is. We love it when Gurggles is on the program, and we're going to have a version of the trivia challenge here, so you can jump on board. 954-417-0070. Line up here, and we'll come back with Dave Gurggles Gergely and the trivia challenge right here on the Defo Show in a moment. Now that.
The time.
That could lighten things up a little bit. Do you think, Lubie?
I hope so.
Your anger over this issue and your passion about it, though, should not be ignored. It's 8:33. In style at Champions, the outstanding simulcasting room at beautiful Hialeah Park. Yes, the grand old lady of thoroughbred racing has never been more vibrant, and you can wager on the races from the top tracks around the country while enjoying a cocktail at the Brass Rail Bar or any of the fine food served throughout the facility. If poker is your game, you're covered in style, and you can play all your favorite Vegas-style games, including blackjack, craps, and roulette, in Hialeah Park's sizzling hot casino. Get a player's card when you walk through the door for all kinds of generous amenities, including our favorite, free play, when you come out to the ultimate casino and entertainment destination, Hialeah Park.
These days, we're all looking for comfort anywhere we can find it. Thank goodness for Landlubber's Raw Bar and Grill in Plantation, because they are making sure you are as comfortable as possible. First of all, they're not only open for delivery and pickup. All you have to do is go to landlubbersbarandgrill.com for both pickup and free delivery. You're going to have the best wings in the world. You're going to have a great burger. You're going to have their amazing soups. Again, Landlubbers, Raw Bar and Grill. It's nice and easy. Just go to landlubbersbarandgrill.com for both your pickup and free delivery. Thank goodness for Landlubbers for making you always feel right at home.
Are you looking to buy your first home? Have you been turned down for a loan? Do you need to refinance or get money out of your home? Call Michael Kodsey, CEO of Choice Mortgage. He's been helping the South Florida community get mortgages for 30 years.
Hi, this is Michael Kodsey, CEO of Choice Mortgage. We have the most competitive fixed rates in the market. Call me 24/7, 561-441-2730. And remember, I don't just work banking hours. To make the right choice for your home, call Choice Mortgage today.
Oh, Solo Volante will be coming late. Oh, Solo Volante, the Belmont's now 1.8 miles. The finish line is coming up quick. Luca Panici, just switch the stick.
The only way to get your morning started is with Defo, joined by Lubie, right here on the Defo Show.
Let's have a little fun here. Jeff DeForest, Mike Lubie Lubitz, and we welcome to the program one of our all-time favorites. And a happy birthday to Dave Gurggles Gergely. What was it, a couple of days ago, Gurgs?
February 12th, Abraham Lincoln and me.
Oh, very nice. So congratulations on that. Is there a number we can reveal here? Where
I think I caught up to you now, I believe.
Oh, yeah, you're 72? Yeah, because...
Yep. Same as the perfect season Dolphins, yep.
I see my horoscope keeps moving up on the chart as
I see that in the post all the time. Yeah,
kind of sucks.
I want to thank you guys for cheering me up with that discussion. By the way,
oh God, that was a rough one.
Let's go back to Valentine's Day. I solved the problem easily. There's 3 ladies. One I was with the Maldives with, another one at the Vinoy Renaissance, another one, and each one on Valentine's Day, I sent them a dozen roses via emoji on my phone. So it worked out perfect.
Nice one, yeah. That was always a problem too when you were seeing more than one woman on Valentine's Day. Which one do you lie to and tell them that you don't go out on Valentine's Day? You only go out like the next day.
I didn't lie to either of them. I stayed home and watched TV. By the way, I don't know if you heard about those 2 girls that met after Valentine's Day, and the one says to the other, "Oh, my boyfriend gave me flowers for my Valentine's Day. Now I'll have to have my legs up all weekend." And the other girl said, "Why? You don't have a vase?"
The Polyman, though, I received that. I have to forward you this picture of the Polyman. Got an old picture of the Polyman with his then wife Sylvie.
Yeah.
In a tuxedo. Did I send that to you by any chance?
No. Wow.
I mean, you talk about dead ringer for Cesar Romero. This was the young, dashing polyman. I have to send this picture out more universally because I received it from the great Frank Miramati. And he's always tremendous at retaining these sort of things. But wow, I mean, a dashing young polyman. So we always pay tribute to here on the Trivia Challenge because let's face it, desperation is the mother of invention. And I remember one day we were dead broke and we said, what the hell are we going to do? We had just had our horse racing show shot down by the then management at Gulfstream Park, which fortunately that has gone through a change. And we, figured, hey, what are we going to do with this time slot? We came up with the Trivia Challenge because of your buddy from Sony, who,
yes, who sadly just passed.
Oh no!
Yeah, I got
what a great
one
guy.
Of the other guys that work with him, Chris Steiner, passed at 68
Chris
out in
Steiner.
Vegas. Yep.
Oh
didn't
my!
drink,
Wow.
didn't smoke, just passed in his sleep at age 68. Yep. I
68.
thought he was.
My God! So we've already eclipsed that. So we're on borrowed time, Gurggles.
Oh yeah.
Which is great. All right, so we want to get right to the challenge here. You can dial us up 954-417-0070. We'll play as many as we can during the time that we have remaining here. 954-417-0070. Without further delay, we get right into the game here. Lubie's got the Landlubber's gift certificate. He runs a spectacular trivia live show with the professor, which Gurggles is often a participant in and sometimes a substitute host. He's like the Aaron Rodgers of this trivia thing. And that's taking place at Landlubbers, which is an outstanding sports bar with all the sporting activity going on tonight. You'll love that place, and the food and drink are great at tremendous value. I mean, we talk about this all the time on the Let's Eat South Florida Facebook page and the Mike Mayo Lunchbox Show. Where can I get some value for my money?
Yes.
And Landlubbers, I mean, certainly fits the bill there. I don't see it mentioned that much on Let's Eat South Florida, but overlooked for the outstanding food and the great value and the terrific vibe that they have there. One of the best sports bars you'll find anywhere in the country. Lubie will be there later on tonight with his live trivia version. And Dave Gurggles Gergely, let's get it started. Get people in the spirit of this thing. Here's our first set of questions, and we're going to start out in the traditional fashion without the polyman and some
easy baseball. This catcher and battery mate of Bob Gibson on approaching the mound one day said, "Now I remember one time going out to the mound to talk with Bob Gibson. He told me to get back behind the batter. He said the only thing I knew about pitching was that it was hard to hit." Was that Tim McCarver, Tim McGraw, Tug McGraw, or Quick Draw McGraw?
All right, here we go. Does this thing still work? The random phone scrambler, Lubie? See if it's working today. There it is. Yeah, it's a little weak, but it's working. Lands on, well, how appropriate is this? Lenny the Chronic. Lenny, how are you? How are you feeling, Lenny?
I'm feeling great. How you guys doing? Happy birthday,
Doing all
Chris.
right. You've joined the ranks of the hospitalized here on the program among our many fans and participants,
Yeah.
even our hosts.
I'm out and I'm doing good. I'm getting my trivia medicine tonight.
Good.
Oh, very good. All right. You have 1 point, too, by the way, and you're in the game.
All right, Lenny, in keeping with Valentine's Day, wrestling, true or false? Believe it or not, midget wrestler Fuzzy Cupid, prior to entering the world of professional wrestling, played the role of Grumpy in a traveling production of Snow White. True or false?
I'm going to say false.
That had to be false. No?
That's true.
Get
That's
out of
true.
here, Gurggles.
Yes. Yeah, you can look it up on Wikipedia. It's in there. He played Grumpy in a traveling role.
A very versatile individual. He wasn't just known for his championship caliber wrestling. All right. You're 1 for 2 and going for 4.
All right, hockey, Lenny. This is a little bit of a tough one. From 1970 on, who was the first rookie to score 3 hat tricks in his first NHL season in the league?
Wow.
Gary Unger, Mike Bossy, Wayne Gretzky, or Guy Lafleur?
Ooh, tough choices.
I'm going to go with Guy Lafleur.
Guy Lafleur is
That is
correct.
correct. Well done, Lenny.
I was going to say that, but then I figured A was the least recognizable of the names, and that would be the only reason for the inclusion there. But good job smelling that out, sniffing that out there, Lenny. 4 going for 9.
All right, NBA, Lenny. This player hit the first ever 3-point shot in an NBA All-Star game history. Who was it? Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Del Curry, or Allen Iverson?
I'm going to say Larry Legend.
The Parent Man.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Correct again, my God.
144-136 overtime victory. And he hit the first 3-pointer. Well done, Lenny.
Well, hang around your problem.
Lenny's setting a torrid pace here with 9 points and I can't even say that I blame him for whiffing on that true-false question. That was a pure matter of genius on the part of Dave Gurggles Gergely. It sounded like the kind of shit that you would make up. It really did, Gurggles.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Very typical. All right. Dial us up if you want to play. 954-417-0070. 954-417-0070. While we await the arrival of our next player here on the line, Gurggles, tell us about Perdomo Cigars.
Yeah, I got the guys from Massachusetts here. Just had the Tennessee guys leave. And I got the guys coming in from Youngstown in another week, and they are big Perdomo fans. We actually drove to the factory to see Nick at 5150 Northwest 167th Street. He's a legend right there on the Palmetto, just a little bit east of Home Depot on the south side. And we sell them right here at Miami Lakes Golf Club, too. But you can go right there to get them factory direct to you. Cuban seed tobacco grown in Nicaragua. 305-627-6700, the number to call. And they're open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. You want one on the weekend? No problem. Go online, www.perdomocigars.com. Find a retailer near you that sells them, or go in person. See Nubia, the receptionist. Go into the big humidor that our late great friend, the Mad Dog, built, and say hello to Nick himself. Whether it's a Maduro or Connecticut wrapper, they make them perfect one at a time. And my Perdomo selection in the Super Bowl didn't quite work out because remember how the people say, how do those bookies get that right? I had over 47 and a half.
Oh, geez.
25-22, and of course they don't kick the extra point. But I had a Perdomo cigar after that, and everything was fine. So today, tomorrow, next week, put something great in your mouth with a cigar from Perdomo Cigars.
The Polyman told me, and a bunch of factoids he had about the Super Bowl and the wagering on the Super Bowl, that the over-under actually by game time, there was so much money coming in on the under that it actually went off 46 and a hook in certain places.
Wow.
Lubie saw it at 47, so you would have had to push, but wow. For that hook, I mean, is it not the sword of Damocles? Is it not a dagger right in your back?
At halftime, if they'd have given me a chance to surrender for $20, I would. It was 10-3. So yeah. I only had $40 on. No big deal.
All right, man. You'll recover. Okay, 954-417-0070 on the phone lines. We have Lenny setting a torrid pace there with 9 points. Can't do too much better than that. And here's Dave with our next set of questions.
College hoops in line with our Valentine's Day celebration. This longtime college coach on the best thing about growing up, the son of an undertaker, said, hey, that's easy. Every Valentine's Day I had fresh flowers. Who's that? Digger Phelps, Michael Phelps, George Michael, or Lorne Michaels?
Digger Phelps, man. Appropriately named. All right, here's the scrambler. And we have the great thespian Pat joins us here on the phone lines. Pat, how are you? Welcome to the game.
I'm good, guys. I'm up in New York now.
Oh, nice.
Frozen north.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't look like it was as bad. I mean, the inundation of snow, they were talking about 7 inches, and I saw some shots of New York City, and didn't look like it was overwhelming. But how'd you fare? All right?
All right. I was in there yesterday to do some business in there, and it was clear and cold.
All right. Those are the conditions I loved at Aqueduct in the wintertime.
I had to watch out for ice falling off the buildings.
Yeah, there's always something. Yeah. Watch your back, as they say. All right, you have 1 point, Pat. You're in the game.
All right, back to the Valentine's Day. Sports. Bobby Valentine, believe it or not, won an award as a ballroom dancer, and he was part of the opening dance act for the 1964 World's Fair. True or false?
Bobby Valentine. Well, I knew he was a New York. He is a New York boy. I'll say yes. True.
True.
That's true.
It is true. Good job.
Yeah, he's a Connecticut boy actually, but yeah, he was a champion. All right.
I was trying to find. There's a picture of Bobby Valentine associated with an article today in the sports section of the New York Post. But, of course, I can't find it now that I'm looking for it. All right, 2 for 2. Going for 5 here, Pat. Put you in second place.
All right, golf, Pat. Number 16 at the Waste Management Open at Scottsdale TPC, of course, the rowdiest hole in golf. In 1997, the fans were treated to not 1, but 2 hole-in-ones on that hole. One by Tiger Woods and the other by Brad Bryant, Hal Sutton, Steve Stricker, or Gary Woodland?
Hal Sutton.
Hal Sutton.
No,
incorrect.
Earlier, but that round was Steve Stricker.
Stricker.
And if you remember, that hole was one of the famous ones with Gary Woodland and the Special Olympics girl who made the putt. She knocked it on the green, made the putt. She said, "I got this," and it's a touching moment in sports. But no, it was not Hal Sutton.
It was pretty touching this year, as some guy looking like John Blutarski slid down the mud of the embankment there, and they eventually had to. I mean, it was chaos. That was
a
created.
lady fell out there. Yeah, I've been there. I've been at that 16th hole. It's something else.
All right, going for 7 here, Pat. This would move you into second place.
All right, Pat. NBA. Who was the first member of the losing side of an NBA All-Star game to be named MVP?
Good question.
Losing team. Allen Iverson, Charles Barkley, Richie Guerin, or Bob Pettit?
Oh, tough one.
Garrett.
Richie Guerin, no. Bob Pettit.
No, Bob Pettit had 28 points and 26 rebounds.
Jesus.
All right, Pat, don't go too far. You still could qualify somehow for the finals, even though you have a non-qualifying total at this stage. But due to the brevity of this edition of the game, it's very possible you could be right back in there. 954-417-0070 on the phone lines if you'd like to play the game. We have the Landlubber's gift certificate we're giving away. That is a great place. I haven't been there in a long, long time. I really need to get over there. I don't travel out west too often anymore because it seems like anything west of 95 it doesn't do it for me. But we did get out there yesterday to are you a barbecue fan, Gurggles?
I am a barbecue fan, yeah.
Man, this stuff was mind-blowingly good. Licky Sticky Barbecue. It's a big favorite of the great O.J. McDuffie. And the woman Juliet, who is the proprietor there, was known throughout South Florida, right, world-renowned for the stuff that she was serving at these various fair markets. That I don't know. They're at parks, right, Lubie, in your neighborhood?
These different parks on the weekends will have
Veterans Park and what was the other one?
Veterans, and then the one, it's by me. I always forget the name. But they'll have food, like little markets on the weekends where vegetables and fruits, and they'll have food trucks.
Yeah, it's kind of a farmer's market. Yeah.
Farmer's market. That's what it's farmer's market. Yeah. And then she's done it for years, and she now has a brick and mortar. And it was freaking great.
Mayo actually got the shakes just looking at the stuff. I mean, he literally was starting to shake a little bit. It was incredible. It was a lot of fun yesterday, and the stuff couldn't have been any better. So, we recommend it. Licky Sticky Barbecue now in Sunrise, right across from Piper High School. Yep. All right, ready for our next set of questions, our next competitor, and then we're probably going to go to the finals. So here's Dave Gurggles Gergely.
Boxing. This journeyman fighter on romance and relationships said, I once went on a date and asked the woman if she brought protection. She said, yeah, and pulled out a switchblade. That's one of my favorites. Was that Chuck Wepner, Chuck Woolery, Chuck Connors, or Skipper Chuck?
The Bayonne Bleeder. All right, here's a scrambler. It lands on Ron. Ron, you're on the trivia challenge. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, fellas. Let's go with A.
He's right on the money, my friend. Very sharp players today, all members of the Chronics.
All right, baseball, Ron. Let's stick with the Valentine's Day theme. After his major league career ended with the Texas Rangers, outfielder Ellis Valentine's first job was with Hertz Rent-A-Car for $4.25 an hour.
Wow.
Oh, well, let's go true.
That's true.
That is true. Wow. True. That had to be a bit of a salary cut.
Yeah. No doubt about it.
Whatever he was making, whatever the league minimum was back then, it had to eclipse that. All right, 2 for 2. Very sharp players here today, going for 5.
All right, baseball. Who holds the record for most consecutive stolen bases without getting caught? Davey Lopes, Ricky Henderson, Ellis Valentine, or Maury Wills?
2 Ellis Valentine references.
I'm sorry. Show. My mistake. I made a mistake on that. Let me give you the choice again. That was another question. Davey Lopes, Ricky Henderson, Maury Wills, or Vince Coleman. Sorry.
Okay. A little better, yeah.
Let's go Vince Coleman.
Vince Coleman.
Wow.
And inadvertently gave you a little hint there. Sorry.
Wow. Yeah, because you left him out the first go-round there. I thought we were going to get into that ugly territory with litigation with Lenny over a couple of the answers and questions here on the program. And Lipschitz is busy with a lot of other stuff right now. He's trying to lobby for some gun control. All right. Very good. Is Ron on the precipice of a possible sweep? Wow.
Sweep,
Let's see.
Here we go. This would,
NBA, who is the only player in NBA history to record a triple-double without scoring in double figures?
Wow.
Is that Dennis Rodman, Nate Thurmond, Draymond Green, or Bobby Jones?
It's a good one.
Well, I'm going to go with an obvious answer, which is Dennis Rodman.
That's an obvious answer, but it's
Yeah.
wrong. It's
I don't see
Draymond
Rodman having the
Green.
assists. Draymond Green would have been my choice.
Rebounds, assists, and steals, but not double figures in points.
Well, you're still in the finals there, Mr. Ron. Hang on, and I'll get your buddy.
Yeah, hang in there. Okay, so it's going to be Lenny and Ron for the championship this week's edition of the game. Gurggles, one more word about Perdomo Cigars, if you can.
You better believe it. Yeah, if you're looking for something, maybe there's a lady out there who got some nice flowers and is listening to the show and wants to get something for her man, or maybe a guy wants to buy some cigars for him and his wife.
Yeah.
Or you don't need a reason to go to Perdomo Cigars, 5150 Northwest 167th Street, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Call them 305-627-6700 or go online. Most of you people that work are online anyway. PerdomoCigars.com. Find the retailer near you that sells them. Find all the brands they sell, Connecticut, Maduro wrapper, whatever you like. The guys from Youngstown, Ohio are coming in next week. I know Mr. Chabon Sr. likes the 20th anniversary Maduro small ones, and we'll take them down to Perdomo. Nick will meet him in person, and that's the kind of guy Nick is. So today, tomorrow, this weekend, put something great in your mouth with a cigar from Perdomo Cigars.
All right, we are set for the championship round here. This is for the Landlubber's gift certificate and the fine distinction of being a champion on the Trivia Challenge here on the Defo Show. We have Lenny and Ron. They were both outstanding in the game, as was Pat. But this is the way it shook out. Lenny and Ron for the championship. You guys know the rules, of course. But we're obligated by FCC regulation, even though this is an unregulated format here on the Restream program format that we use. But Gurggle's going to toss out a question. Call out your name if you want to answer right away. Nobody answers right away. We offer multiple choice. First person to call in his name gets first chance. We go back and forth until we have a winner for the championship of this week's edition of the Trivia Challenge. Here's Dave Gurggles Gergely.
All right, let's lift the fun factor on this show and give you a horse racing movie question. Here we go. In the movie Let It Ride, Richard Dreyfuss, a.k.a. Trotter, wins $69,000 at Hialeah Racetrack on 25-1 shot Fleet Dreams. He goes home and finds his wife, played by Terry Carr, passed out on the couch. So he goes back to the track and lets it ride on what horse?
Wow. Okay. Anybody here? Multiple choice.
A, In It to Win It. B, Offshore Judge. C, Argentinian Tango. Or D, Hot to Trot.
Wow. Well, I know two of them.
Ron.
Who was it?
What Ron?
B.
B. No, that wasn't it.
Not Offshore Judge, no.
Offshore Judge. Yeah, will forever
Fond
haunt you,
memory for
Dave
me,
Gurggles Gergely. I know you had a nice piece of that animal.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, even though the horse won like $400,000, you ended up losing like $60,000. That was great.
All right.
Okay, that's one eliminated.
A, In It to Win It. C, Argentino Tango. Or D, Hot to Trot.
Let's go with, in honor of the ladies and landlubbers, waitresses, Hot to Trot.
Hot to Trot. That had to be it, right?
40-1. He bet $69,000 to win. It went off 8-1, and he won $544,000 on Hot to Trot.
That was a great flick. That really was good. As the tout came over and mentioned a couple of horses to him, and he turned to his guy and said, "Put a line through that one."
Nobody mentioned. That's right.
All right, very good, Gurggles. What do you have going on now? What's happening? You're going to be out at the track tomorrow?
Massachusetts guys coming out there for their last day. Then I got Deep Foundations Institute coming this afternoon. Then next week I've got the guys from Ohio, 44 of them. The week after that from Pittsburgh, 54 of them. So we're busy and cranking it out on the golf course here.
All right. Sounds great, my friend. Thanks so much. Great job as always. And we'll see you hopefully out there at the bar at Gulfstream Park. All right. Dave Gurggles Gergely, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Congratulations to our winner as Lenny the Chronic comes up with Hot to Trot. Argentine Tango continues to, just be literally from yesterday, a thorn in my side. The ugly memories of that particular DQ bloodbath that we took many years ago at the track on a Polyman tip horse that romped and had no business being taken down. And to this day, I will forever carry a grudge against whoever was in the steward's box that day, as it seemed like there was a separate agenda. I don't mean to accuse anybody of maybe pulling the plug on what was a winner for other people. But nonetheless, I mean, that was an ugly incident in my gambling and degenerate life. All right, we will see you guys 1 o'clock today. Looks like it's a scratch there at Gilbert's. Huh? I was looking forward to
I was too.
little Gilbert's.
I would have.
No, they really do. I mean, people always ask where can you get the best burger in town. They would have to be in contention. I know they've been voted as such in different polls and received the award. But and there are many fine places. But wow, they're great. And then all of the other stuff that they serve there is just absolutely fabulous. So Gilbert's on 17th Street, I guess it's off Cordova,
Yes.
and would be on the south side of 17th Street.
Yes.
Fantastic place, and the family owned and operated business. They could not be any sweeter and more sincere. We see that a lot of the restaurants. It's very consistent with the places that we go. Wow, I mean, they put so much effort and love and really pour themselves into the business, and it's reflected in the great quality of the food and the happiness they provide for a lot of people. A great spot for lunch, and I don't know. They open. I guess they're open in the evening also, Lubie. So check that out, and we'll be there at some future time. So we'll see you 1 o'clock with Mike Mayo's Lunchbox here on South Florida Live, the Let's Eat South Florida page, which is now like 142,000 strong, pretty impressive. And looking forward to doing that with you guys later on this afternoon. From Mike Lubie Lubitz, thanks everybody for tuning in. It's always a pleasure. Our special, shout out to our good friend Andy.
Yes.
Who said they found so many blood clots in his system that they even identified red clots as flowing around somewhere in his blood. Which let's hope he doesn't have the same results as red clots did when trying to eclipse this particular medical circumstance that he's in. But we always wish him the best. It's always a gas having him on the chat line and just knowing him in general. So for Andy, too, and Mike Lubitz, I'm Jeff DeForest. We'll see you next time as we leave you know that.
The time.
It's 8:58.
Let's go to eat a damn snack.
Look what they